What I would like to suggest is that the town administrator prepare a recommended budget, and that's all we can present it as, a recommended budget for the town administrator that reasonably reflects what we can expect to receive from the General Assembly. The motor vehicle tax, which we can then present to the voters at the financial town meeting. Essentially, what I'm asking is Mr. Gonzalo put together again a recommended budget on the municipal side, but one that this time would factor in, based on the information we now have from the General Assembly, the information on the possible revenue we would receive through the motor vehicle tax. I must say, over the weekend, I scratched my head trying to figure out how that impacts on the school side, trying to be fair for the school side. That's beyond my expertise. I don't understand the numbers there, but at least on the municipal side, I can make the argument, the principled argument, and one I believe in, that we are going to make a terrible mistake by going to the Department of Revenue levels with all of the outstanding issues, and knowing as a reality that this is never going to come to pass. We will never have the anticipated deficit.
Well, Jane, I think I'm sort of fascinated, but we have some issues with your statement. First of all, the docket is closed. And secondly, I don't think anybody sitting here can say that we are going to get the tax, the monies from the tax, from the cars. In fact, I have been advised that we will not see one dime of that money next year as a reimbursement. So the supplemental budget did not address next year at all. It was completely void as I've looked through that whole issue. It doesn't. So in fact, they have been advised that they will take that up probably late June or early July. So having said that, I don't have any confidence that, one, we can come up with any figures that would not be attacked as saying those are made up out of whole cloth. Now hold on, you've had your time.
I will respond to both of your issues.
Because I could just see the organization sitting off to my right, who would say, what possible motive would you have to estimate car tax revenue? And I'd say, well, I quote Jay Lambert. That should settle that argument, shouldn't it? But having said that, the very person who Peter Schaefer actually suggested to the town, to the administrator, that we seek this eligibility letter. And we're not seeking it as a waiver. We are seeking it as, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know what that figure is. We would submit whatever information we are requested to submit. We have been through this at a prior time when we did, before the financial town meeting, seek a waiver. And the forms are in the town administrator's office as well. But obviously some of the variations that we would have to have from their forms. But I can assure you that it was Peter Schaefer who said to the town administrator, the town should seek, based upon the fact that the legislature is saying you're not going to receive reimbursement, that you should seek under what is forecast, based upon these facts, what would we be eligible for. And we do not know that figure, and because we do not know that figure, we'd be withholding it from the townspeople themselves. Because one of the questions is, if we go over by $1, can we do that? Are we eligible? I find it somewhat shocking that we would withhold that information and not seek it for the benefit of the financial company. Because who knows what people will vote. Then, depending upon that vote, depending upon what letter we receive back, whatever the vote is, we will follow the state procedure. We have also been advised that many communities have gone after their financial town meeting. So I am not suggesting in any way that, if things were different, sure, we could seek our waiver now, but I think the way to do it is to seek whatever we can and whatever information we have to present that to the townspeople.
Well, you've raised 3 issues, and one of them you've actually given an answer to, and that is, why get involved with all of these issues, given the fact we never have to get to these issues and go to Providence? As you point out, we can go to Providence after the financial town meeting. So all of the issues I've raised and the procedural issues that I've raised, which are real, become academic if we find out from the financial town meeting whether they plan to go above or below.
And what do you do at the financial town meeting when a resident of this town stands up and says, we have a new moderator. The moderator, we know, is taking positions publicly that he could rule certain things out of order. What do we say with a townsperson? A resident stands up and says, what are we dealing with? I would like to add some monies to the town budget. I would like to see, yes.
And you can do it.
You're not the moderator.
You're
And,
when Louise is finished.
okay, but I think that information the townspeople in this town are entitled to, whatever the figure is. Maybe it's 0, maybe it's 20,000, maybe it's 200,000. I do not know, and nobody in this room knows. But everybody in this room is entitled to know it, and they're entitled to know it at the financial town meeting.
Whatever number it is, whatever number the financial town meeting agrees to, that is a number we can then take to Providence. And it's a real number. It's not a number based, with all due respect, Jim, on the town administrator's number, for which there is no place on that form that we're supposed to submit as a checklist. That's number one. Number two, the fact that the docket is closed. It's always been my understanding that the docket consists of the recommendation and proposal of the budget committee. What Jim has put together, and he's done a great job, I consider the budget the town administrator put together as informational. And if this is informational, we can give it out to the people in the town at any point to make our argument. We're going to try to make an argument at the financial town meeting that Jim Gonzalo's numbers should be accepted. If we can make that argument off of the docket, and without reflecting it on the docket, but we can make that argument from the electors in public argument. We can make an argument for any numbers that Jim can come up with that take into consideration the real possibility that we will be getting motor vehicle revenue.